All right, everyone, welcome to another edition of Chamber Chat. I am your host, Jeff Griffin, president of the Peoria Area Chamber of Commerce. Special guest this morning, not only talking about her business, but Nyssa is a chamber ambassador, which of course we value tremendously. We can talk more about what our ambassadors do later. Nyssa Catton, the ABE Site Coordinator for Peoria with Lincoln College, is here with us. That was a mouthful. Welcome to the program.
Usually is. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yes, ma'am. So first of all, for our listeners, let's start with Lincoln College, then we talk about what the ABE Site Coordinator job is.
Okay.
How's that sound?
All right. Sounds good. Well, Lincoln College as a whole is a private liberal arts college.
Go ahead. They can hear you.
Okay.
We're good. I'm sorry.
Is a private liberal arts college, and what we do is we have an accelerated bridge to education program. We have headquarters, as we call it, in Normal, and that's right up the road from Heartland Community College on Rab Road. And then we have two satellite campuses, one in Oglesby, IVCC, and one in Peoria at ICC's Peoria campus, or the North Campus. And we offer our Accelerated Bridge to Education program, or ABE. And the ABE program is hybrid accelerated bachelor's degrees for adults. And the classes are one night a week. The rest is online, and every 5 weeks they move on to a new course. And there's also, of course, an 8-week program in the Normal campus that we offer. So that's 2 classes every 8 weeks, but still one night a week per class.
Gotcha. So the ABE program, it's convenient that for Lincoln College, the acronym worked out to ABE, right?
Yeah, ironically,
ultimate,
yes.
Marketing convenience.
Yes.
I love it. So how new is the program been going on a long time? Because I think you're newer to the position, or within the last 12 months. I mean, newer.
A year and a half, actually, to the Peoria location. I know, right? The Normal campus has been running this program since 2006 or 2007. Okay. We had our first graduating class in 2008. And the Peoria location just started up about a year and a half ago. Yeah, we were recruiting for our first round of students starting in the January session of last year. Around that time, we had recruited 1 student. Now we're up to 20 to 25.
Nice.
Yeah, and we're hoping for a lot more, for sure.
I want to feel like it was Avanti's, or maybe before that, I met you at a business after hours.
Yep. Yeah, it was the Avanti's one. Yeah.
The new program and so
yeah,
forth.
Definitely.
So you were the inaugural site coordinator for ABE here in Peoria.
So to speak, yeah.
Okay. All right. So what do the ABE students look like? You said non-traditional?
Yeah. So there's 3 requirements for the program. Those requirements are: you have to be at least 23 years of age or older. Okay. You have to have a transfer GPA of at least a 2.0. And 3 years of full-time work experience. And that's not necessarily consistent work experience, but as long as you have the maturity level and the cumulative 3 full-time work experience years.
All right, so let's drill on a specific, because my mind gets scattered with this stuff. So
yeah.
You meet those requirements, and you want to earn a bachelor's degree. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
And so what are the disciplines in which you can earn that bachelor's degree?
Well, we actually have, I think, 9 now. Okay. So we offer liberal arts, criminal justice studies, health services administration, supply chain and logistics management, business management. And then we have 2 capstone degree programs. And what those are, they are specific for students who have completed an associate's in applied science. And those 2 capstone degree programs, one is a Bachelor's of Applied Management and Entrepreneurship, and the other is a Bachelor's of Applied Science in Organizational Leadership. And we had so much interest in the Organizational Leadership degree program that we actually turned it into a Bachelor of Arts as well. So that is available to everyone.
Yeah. So it's organizational
leadership.
So this is a popular. I want to make sure our viewers and listeners understand. Just in the Chamber of Commerce world, what I see is folks in nonprofit world, the organizational leadership skills are really applicable. I mean, my bachelor's is in criminology and I have a master's in social work. Okay. I'm a chamber person, but a lot of the training, I think I'm a pretty good chamber person. Some people might debate that, but a lot of the organizational training that I've received and my staff are receiving helps manage all the multiple demands.
Yeah.
And those are really transferable for nonprofit work into the business community.
Definitely. Actually, I was speaking with a student yesterday who she said, I think business management would be the way for me to go.
Yeah.
And then she started to talk some more. She said she doesn't really like math. And I said, oh, I don't know if you want to go for math. If you love math, then business management is perfect.
Yeah.
It's a great placement because we actually have their senior capstone course within that degree program. There is a strategic management class, and the graduates of the spring of 2016 class, we actually had 2 individuals who placed in the top 6% of national field testing within business management and business administration. So it's a great program. But the more she started talking, she said, and I'm not really a numbers person. I'm more so like running people. I like managing people. I love communication. I love working with the public. And I said, then you'd want our organizational leadership degree program because it's business oriented without all the heavy-handed math, and it's more communication, interpersonal relationships. Definitely something that would be good for nonprofit organizations or a leadership in the community.
Right. Well, that sounds phenomenal. But you still have to keep your eye on those numbers because you're an accountant. You got to keep your eye on your accountant to make sure everything's in.
Yeah.
That's your ability. That's the name of the game. All right, folks. Jeff Griffin here, Chamber Chat. Our guest is Nyssa Catton, Lincoln College ABE Site Coordinator here for Peoria. So if people are interested in the programming, how do they find you?
So I'm actually located on ICC's Peoria campus, right off of University in Hickory Hall. That's the Community Corporate Education building. So if you're turning into the campus, you're going to follow the left-hand side should be the second building off of the right. And my office is the room 111. We'll also be hosting an open house this Thursday. Yeah. Same day as the golf outing for our chamber. But it's that night. It's at 5:30 until 7 p.m. And that will actually be in the small conference room right outside my office, and that's room 109. We'll have light refreshments. We'll have information about financial aid. We'll have information about the degree programs. If you can bring an unofficial copy of a more recent transcript, I can try to run a degree audit right there for you. We'll figure out what can transfer in, how much you have remaining, what program would be the best match for you. So,
is there a website or email people could go to prior to?
Yes. So we're at ABE. So ABE is in Abe Lincoln, abe.lincolncollege.edu. And then if you do /Peoria, that'll take you to the Peoria landing page, but otherwise just the abe.lincolncollege.edu takes you to the main landing page of the ABE program.
Right. Okay, good. So that sounds phenomenal. That's this Thursday. I don't have my dates.
Yes, May 25th.
This Thursday, May 25th.
Yes, 5:30 to 7.
5:30 to 7, Hickory Hall.
109.
Got it. So, Nyssa, what got you involved, or what did you do prior to this?
I'm drawn to education all the time. I feel like it's kind of been, I wouldn't necessarily say haunting me, but it's been following me. So I started out, my 18-year-old self wanting to work in elementary education. Realized that if I wanted to work with other people's children, I couldn't necessarily have my own, and I wanted to start a family. But I still wanted to work in education, so I thought, I'll teach art. Of course, the logical things. So then I went on and I received my bachelor's in 3D ceramics, 3D studio art. And while I was receiving my bachelor's degree, realized that I worked as a resident assistant. And I had 64 18 to 23-year-olds on my floor that I was kind of the mom of. And what would happen around registration time is they would go to their advisor and they'd sit down and act like they knew what they were talking about with their advisor. And then the advisor would say, okay, but this day by midnight, make sure you get registered for these specific classes, pick from this list, and we'll keep you on track. And then they'd come to me panicked that night and say, I have no idea what I'm doing. What am I supposed to register for? And so then I fell in love with the idea of being able to help them and see them grow within their own programs. And I became very familiar with catalogs. So after I graduated with my bachelor's degree, I went back to working as a preschool teacher for my 4th year.
God bless you.
Realized again that I needed to be outside of working in the classroom. And I got hired on as a registrar and counseling secretary at one of the local high schools here in Peoria, actually. And then I wanted to work in kind of a larger capacity, and I thought higher education would be the way to go. And in my capacity at the high school, I was actually I was setting up visits for college representatives. And in that, made friends with the representatives.
What high school was that?
Richwoods High School, yeah, Richwoods High School.
Richwoods has the only IB program.
Yes, the International Baccalaureate, right. Yes,
so
great program.
I happen to know a professional who's moving his family here from Ohio, as I did about 4 years ago, and they have a senior in high school or a junior, one of the two. Mm-hmm. Anyway, they're going to Richwoods High School.
Okay.
My point is, I tire of the negativism about public schools because there's a lot of real positive stuff going on.
Definitely.
And we're the chamber tries to support the school districts as much as possible. So anyway.
I loved working there while I was at Richwood. So absolutely, yeah. And
group of kids, and parents, and so forth. So
the faculty is amazing too. Yeah. So I was coordinating the college visits with these representatives, making the friendships with the representatives, getting to know them, and finally one of them said, "You'd be great in higher education," and I said, I think you're right. And so, sure. Absolutely. Right. So I applied to a couple of different positions, and Lincoln just so happened to pick me up. And I got hired on as an admissions counselor in Normal for the ABE program at our home headquarters base, and we were kind of restructuring our format over there. We used to have a traditional program. In fact, we just stopped the traditional program there because we were kind of fighting with ourselves with the Lincoln campus to get students traditionally in Normal as well. So we went ahead and we restructured, and we took our adult focus onto our 5-week program and then broadened with our 8-week. And we've been spreading out to different satellites as well. So then, Oglesby and Peoria. And the position opened up in Peoria for the site coordinator. And my second day on the job in Normal, my director said, hey, if you know anyone in Peoria who wants to do academic advising and admissions. And I jokingly said, I live in Peoria, so it'd be convenient for me not to have to drive to Normal. And he said, well, I'll think about it. And after about a week, I said, I think that based on my background, I would be a lot better suited with my capacity and my skill set to be in another environment, and I'd like to apply for the position.
Great.
So
I remember, I can't believe it's been 18 months, but that was great. You stuck with it. What do you say? You've gone from 1 student to 25?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I was a normal admissions counselor when our first student was coming in, and I sat in on her orientation because our training is very extensive when we're at Lincoln, which is amazing. But I sat in on her orientation. They introduced me as an admissions counselor, and I said, oh, yeah. And then for her first advising appointment, I was her advisor.
All right. Well, we're winding down here. Nyssa Catton, the ABE Site Coordinator for Lincoln College. One more time, reset that the open house this Thursday.
Right, this Thursday. May 25th on Hickory Hall in room 109. We'll be hosting our open house that Thursday evening, 5:30 to 7.
5:30 to 7 this Thursday, and that website?
And that website is abe.lincolncollege.edu/Peoria.
Nyssa, thank you for being here today.
No problem. Thanks for having me, Jeff.
So much time to be a chamber ambassador.
It was a blast.
It's great.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on Chamber
Thank
Chat.
you.
PeoriaLife.com